It is Friday, so just uploaded the last YouTube video, trying to get better about making sure we're putting content out there as we go through the week. So yesterday we had 3 orders come in from Amanda's live that she does on TikTok, and I think we had 1 whatnot order, and then we woke up this morning to another order. So she already had those orders packed up, so she had to pack another order this morning, and she has run to the post office to drop those 4 packages off, and it's only Friday. So I think she's gonna plan on going live today and tomorrow. We talked about it, and I think what we're gonna try to do is just grind on the lives for a couple weeks, just to go live every day if she can, if the time permitting. And that way it'll help us grow a lot faster. We can get a lot more followers, get a lot more people on the lives. Right now, we're starting to see the 20 to 30 range on average of people jumping on the lives. So hopefully this weekend we'll see a lot more orders come in. We do not have an event this weekend. We had one last weekend and we talked about it in the last video, but we do have another event coming up. So I am doing my best to print everything I can as quickly as I can with just 3 printers. I have an Ender 3 V2 Neo in the garage that hasn't been running since I guess a month after we started, just because it was a pain to kind of calibrate. So I might break that out and see if I can calibrate that, get that working, and just do single color prints on that, like eggs, the skulls that we have, things like that. So stay tuned. It is Sunday, and yesterday we had a bunch of storms come through and it cut our power 3 times, maybe 4, just barely enough to turn the printers off. It flashed the lights to turn the printers off. So I think the next thing we're gonna have to buy for the business is the UPS backups or the battery backups, whatever, for the printers. We're looking at doing that in the next week or 2, because we are coming into storm seasons, tornado seasons here where we're at, and I lost 6 prints because I have 3 printers. Yeah, definitely got to fix that, because luckily most of them were probably only 2 or 3 hours in each time, and I thought I waited long enough to where we would be okay. Apparently people just can't drive and they hit things, and lightning at some point too. So I'll do that this week. Also going to probably spin up the Ender 3 that we have that's been sitting in the garage since like after a month or 2 that we started this. See if I can get it running and get it actually kind of calibrated and working the way it needs to for us to be able to reliably send out prints from it. Yeah, and we got some new filament in that we ordered. I ordered some more black and white. Only 1 box came. It had 2 blacks, 2 whites in it. I've got 2 or 3 more boxes coming just of the black and white, and then we have a bulk order coming from Bamboo Labs for all of the 3D, all of the filament there. And Amanda was also able to bring in some orders through the live on Friday and Saturday. So she went live Saturday, she went live Friday, and we got at least, I think it was like 4 or 5 orders from the 2 days alone. She's gonna go live today again. She might go live twice today. She's talked about it, so we'll see how that goes. So hopefully you can hear this over the noise. But one thing that happened when the power went out is the print basically ruined, obviously. I went to restart the print, and the printer tried to rehome itself. And I guess basically restart the print. And so in doing so, the nozzle actually pierced through the print that was already on the plate. So I canceled as soon as I could. Of course, when it starts to rehome, you can't not let it rehome. So then I cleaned the plate off and started a new print. Of course, it happened again. So I noticed it last week that it did that. We had a surge last week, and the same thing happened, and my Z offset seemed to be off on one of my Bamboo Labs A1 printers. So I was able to actually fix that, and I'll show you that here in a minute on the computer. But I was able to actually fix that, got it fixed, and then of course yesterday we had more power outages, and it happened again. And so it's the only printer that I have that actually tried to rehome itself and restart the print, or what looks to restart the print. So I'm not sure what happened there. But as you can see, it's tried to restart the print after it did that, and this is the aftermath. And this is after me scraping it. I'm gonna have to actually get in here and scrape it off and do it well. Obviously you can see we're printing Bigfoot. But, so then I went back and I found a first layer print. And so basically that's what it looks like. Found it on Make a World, but it just prints the first layer off. and I was able to actually tweak the Z offset to make it to where the first layer did what it was supposed to do. And so I'm just gonna walk you through it real quick. I'm holding the camera because it's just easier than doing it than just sharing a screen. But you'll go up to your printer and you'll click the you know, whichever profile you usually use, and you'll click the little edit icon, and it'll pop up a window, and you'll go to your machine code. This is the best way I found to do it. If there's another way, definitely let me know. But the start code, so machine start code, you'll actually go through and you'll scroll through the code. And so what I did is I went through the entire code. But if you go down, I found out if you go down and scroll just a tad up, you'll see G29.1 and then Z, and then in between the curly braces, you'll have the number, which is basically your Z offset. So if we go to, I already have, so that's how it comes stock with just the regular profile. And so I created this profile, and it's to modify Z height. And if I click on the edit icon, you'll see it, machine code, and you'll see if I scroll all the way down and then scroll up a tad, you'll see plus 0.12. And so basically the nozzle was scraping the bed. It wasn't leaving marks, but it was scraping the bed enough to where filament just wouldn't come out of it, extrude it. And so it was like, it wasn't laying down a full first layer. Hopefully I'm explaining that correctly. But yeah, so I fixed it that way. If there's another fix, let me know in the comments. I might reach out to Bamboo Labs and just support and just see if there's anything I can do. I'm wondering if it messed up a sensor when the power went out, or maybe a board got fried. But everything else is working just fine. So I think right now I'm just keeping it this way. And that all being said, we have the Ender 3 V2 Neo up and running. Like I said, this guy's been sitting in my garage for probably 5 months. And then before that, we only used it for like a month, maybe 2, when we were first starting the business and kind of just playing around. And then people started saying, hey, we want to buy this print. So we decided to get better printers or more reliable printers for the business and start the actual business. So I did the same thing I did with the other one because I had first layer issues. It was scraping the bed and it wasn't extruding. Well, I guess it was under extruding. So I was able to actually use the same method I did with the first layer print. Got that Z offset dialed in. Of course, it's easier to do that with the Ender because it's in the settings for the printer and on the menus. But and it print the first layer pretty nicely. I got the grass pieces done for our bird stands. They looked great. But then I started trying to print, and this is what I'm trying to print again, but I started trying to print the actual bird stand itself. And of course, this is a canceled print. The bottom first layer looks pretty good. I'm not griping about it at all. I mean, it turned out pretty well. As you get up to kind of up in where it's curving up, you can see the gaps. And so there's a bunch of gaps in the layer lines. And so what I'm thinking, I'm not sure, but what I'm thinking is, the light sucks in here, but the spool holder is up here, and it was working fine for the green because the green was not a full spool. It was like, I think I had 100 grams left on it, maybe 150 grams. So it wasn't heavy at all. But when I put a full-size black spool up there, it was struggling. And so what I've done is I've got this spool winder, and I've actually moved the spool winder over here, and it's kind of pulling it nicely. It's nice and like it's easy to pull. So I'm hoping that will fix it. So I'm doing another test print. If we make it, we make it. If we don't, we don't. But it'd be nice to see because I'd love to use this to just print the eggs, our stands, just a one-color items that I don't want to waste time doing on the multicolored prints when I could be doing our jumbos or our minis, and just kind of throw it on this printer because it's not like they sell all the time, but it is something that does sell. So it'd be nice just to have this running constantly, doing eggs or bird stands or whatever. So we'll see how that goes. I'll check in a little bit.
So Ryan always makes fun of my Mary Poppins purse, but I'm telling you, it really comes in handy for trips to the post office. So I don't have to make multiple trips, and I don't have packages falling all out of my arms.
So it is Monday evening. So over the weekend we did 4 lives, one Friday, 1 Saturday, and 2 Sunday. And I think we had about 7 or 8 orders between those lives. So we're averaging about 2 to 3 orders a live. and they fluctuate in amounts and all that. So, but it's usually our jumbos that go, and we don't sell a lot of minis on the live. We sell a lot of minis in person. We found that to be very interesting, although we did sell a mini yesterday. So the Z offset is fixed for the most part on the A1 and the Ender, and my dog's being loud. And that clock is not working, by the way. I'm too lazy to replace the batteries. I probably should do that one day. But all in all, it was a pretty good weekend, especially for going on the lives. She is averaging about 20 people usually that kind of stay. It starts off with 30 or 40, and then over the course of the video, or over the course of the actual live, it kind of tapers down to about 20. So getting a lot of good growth with the TikTok. And we have, like I said, we have another event coming up this Saturday that we're preparing for. I'm printing as much as I can. We've got bulk orders of filament coming in tomorrow. I had some show up yesterday, and we're debating getting another printer or two in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So, because I'm starting to really kind of need them. Before it was just kind of a discomfort. Now it's kind of okay, this is kind of stopping us from making money because we've got requests coming in and I need to be able to put out product. So that will be happening soon. I'm not sure which one we're gonna get, if it's just gonna be a single color, just to do kind of replace the Ender, because I'm not sure the Ender is gonna work out because it's rather slow. It's about half the speed of my Bamboo Labs A1s. So we'll see how that goes. And up until yesterday, we were getting 5-star reviews on everything we did. Yesterday, we received a 1-star review on TikTok on one of our products, and it happened to be the Raven and Skull that we do. So the Raven sits on top of the skull. They articulate, they're separate, but for whatever reason, this woman on her live was super excited about it when she ordered it for $45, and then came back and gave us a 1-star review and said she found it on Amazon for $17 and she feels stupid. I looked on Amazon, it's not the same one. It is an 8.5-inch resin statue that doesn't articulate, and the Raven doesn't come off the skull, so it's not the same thing at all. But that review is now on there, so that's nice. We replied to it. Hopefully people read it before, and I think people will read it and see the comment for what it is. But it's kind of discouraging, frustrating. That we were doing well. I had the 5-star reviews, and then the one person came in with a 1-star review that really wasn't even a product review. So now we're at a 4.8 rating, which still isn't bad, but it's frustrating nonetheless. So the joys of doing business. So this filament has failed more times than I can count this week. This has been the week of failures. This owl, I don't think I've had a failure on this owl yet, and we've printed it probably 7-8 times, and this is not working. I suspect it's because it's the white, and there's a certain brand that I got that I'm not gonna get again. So yeah, it's the black and white that I've been doing has just been failing like crazy with it. I'm guessing humidity. Maybe it just soaks up so much humidity. I'm not sure. We're not that humid though. We're in like the 60s and 70s. We're still in North Alabama, but still, it's not that humid yet. So I'm not sure what's going on with it, but I'm gonna change whites. And whilst making the last video, the wife pointed out that I made it sound like it was 70% humidity, and I meant it is like 65, 70 degrees outside. I think we're like 25% humidity. So not very much. So I'm leaning towards it's just the filament. So this entire time, I've been opening spools of filament, poking a hole in it and ripping it. I was watching a video the other day on YouTube, another 3D printer, and he literally, what? And the bird stand on the Quetzal was also a fail. You can see it's kind of, I don't know, the quality is just not where I would prefer it to be. But right here you can kind of see where it's kind of coming apart. I don't know if you can see that on camera. Yeah, and then right here, this is just brittle. So I think I think it's going to end up being a partial nozzle clog. I'm not sure if the filament was a little wet, so I'm drying that now. But I've also ordered a new nozzle and a new stepper motor for the gear, the extruder gear. I think that's what that's called. Anyway, order a stepper motor with a new gear and a new nozzle. Let's see if that works. If that doesn't work, I'm probably just gonna put this back in the garage. My Bamboo Labs A1 printers are double the speed of this thing. So this took like 6 hours, just this much of it. Whereas like the A1s would just fly past it. So And then on top of all the problems, it may just be not worth doing this. But I was hopeful because we had it in the garage and I could just throw it on there, maybe do some tweaks to it and get it working, but maybe not the case, we'll see. It is Wednesday morning and I woke up to this because I am out of tan now on the owl. So this is the second try to get the owl done. And last time it may have been a bed adhesion problem instead of filament, not certain. Still will not buy this filament, but I did clean the bed off and then I did not check to see if we had enough tan. So I have to figure out if I have the same, well, close to the same tan, or if we just have to scrap it and start over. I think this is about a 10 to 12 hours in. So yeah, fun. This week is not turning out as planned, and we have the event this Saturday. So I think that's gonna wrap up the video for this week. We've been trying a lot of different things. We've tried some new filaments, some cheaper filaments to try to get our costs down, to raise that profit margin up a little bit. Some of the filaments are working pretty well, some of them not so much. So we're kind of getting a good idea of which filaments to go with and which filaments to kind of shy away from. And all in all, it was a good week. We didn't get as much printed as we wanted to. It's still only Wednesday, so I've got Thursday and Friday to kind of make up. I'm gonna get at least one owl out this week, I hope. It is still going. Third time's a charm. So yeah, and then we'll have the event Saturday morning and we'll report back in next week's video of how that event does, and hopefully we'll be getting closer to figuring out which printers we're wanting to get. I'm leaning towards an Anycubic, the new multicolor printer they have, but I'm not sure. I want that enclosed printer due to the dust, humidity, and everything else that's going on. So hope you tune in next week. And yeah, if you liked the video, make sure to hit that like button for us. It helps us with the YouTube algorithm. And if you like this kind of content, make sure you subscribe down below. See you in the next video.